Well, we all know that the best strategy is to trade in line with the trend. So today I want us to look at the trend continuation strategy. It's one of the most easiest strategies out there. And just to explain how it goes, let's say we're going to choose any day. In this case, let's say Monday actually traded downwards and it closed down. Therefore, we're going to have 2 points here. We're going to have the high of Monday and we're going to have the low of Monday. And let's say on Tuesday, they decided to do something like this and they never went anywhere. Therefore, again, we're gonna have the high somewhere around here and we're gonna have the low somewhere around here. This is the low of the day, right? Yes. And then let's say on Wednesday they went down and they just did something like this. Before we can even speak of the high and the low, there's some crucial information that we have been given here. They broke this area here. They violated this line here, which is actually yesterday's high. In this case, they violated yesterday's high. In this case, it's Tuesday's high. And then that tells us that we have a trend day. This is a trend day. And this strategy is called trend continuation. Therefore, we need a trend before we can actually take a continuation the following day. Because if we don't have a trend, obviously we don't have a continuation or anything to continue from. So when we got a day like this, obviously the following day, we're going to have something like the high over here. And again, as usual, we're going to have the low over here. So what are we looking for? We are looking for prices to actually give us a buy low opportunity. In this case, we are looking for them to drop. When they drop, mostly they will be coming to key areas. Key areas, I mean something like support and resistance. If you look at this point here, they came down, right? They got support, and again they got support on what? On the high of Wednesday. So sometimes these areas, the high and the low and the closing price of Wednesday, the previous day, can be used a day after. So in this case here, let's just draw our line here. This is where we got support and resistance, and again this was the closing price. So mostly they will come to such areas. They will come to such areas. Just identify areas where there is support or resistance. Why? Because on this day, Wednesday, when prices were going up, most people are chasing prices. There are people who chase prices all the way up. So it makes a lot of sense for them the following day to drop, and then give a continuation up. So what we are looking for is, we are looking for them to give us something like a confirmation that now they are done going down, and then we want to take it all the way up. And then obviously our first target is the high of Wednesday. In this case, the high of Wednesday is going to be up here. So this is our main target. However, I always say you can hold it because most of the days it's going to close higher than the high of the previous day. And to do that, the most advisable thing is to divide your lot size in two and take two positions. One you'll take profit here and the other one you'll let it run. So some days they will do something fascinating, and that is, instead of giving us a continuation up, for instance, instead of giving us this continuation here, some days they will just come and do this, and then obviously they can confirm and just play around here. One thing you have to know is we need a buy low opportunity. That is, we need a retest. We need prices to retest the following day after giving us a trend day. So in this case here, this is the drop that we are indeed looking for. We are looking for this drop, right? So they gave it, and if they end up doing something like this, most likely the following day, that's when they are gonna go up and up, and that's when they will be hitting your profits. So sometimes people tend to forget this, but a move can set up and then still complete the following day. You see, this day they gave us the drop, but they gave the opportunity the following day. This happens most of the time, and it's very, very, very important. Please pay close attention to this and never forget this. But again, on this day, the most important thing is we do nothing when we don't have a trend day. With this trend continuation strategy, there are many strategies out there, but with this specific one, we do nothing on days like this because there is no point to work from. However, the day we get a trending day, that's when we have something to pay reference to and something to actually work from. Let's proceed. And one last thing, it's very, very, very important to analyze each and every day and select the ones that have given us a trend day. If we don't have any that has given us a trend day, it's okay. The following day will do nothing. Let's look at how we do our analysis. I do my analysis around 8 p.m. South African time because by this time, obviously, the New York has traded and prices are almost going to close. And when prices are going to close, the only thing left most of the time is a consolidation. So we're not going to get much of a change. That is to say, if gold gave us a trend day to the upside, it's not really going to change that much. It's mostly going to close close as a trend day to the upside. Hence we do our analysis late. And if you look here, we have the dates. However, this analysis were done on Monday, but here I put the dates of the following day. Why? Because these analyses are for Tuesday, although they are done Monday. I do them Monday to be well prepared. Most people come to the charts unprepared, and obviously when you come during the day, your mind is going to see different things and you're going to end up taking garbage trades. It's only when you are actually reviewing your trades where you'll see that, oh, I just took garbage. So failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So as you can see here, I have bull trends. These are just trend days to the upside, and here I have bear trend days. These are just trend days to the downside. And if you look here, I have asset, I have signal, I have setup, I have session setup, I have candlestick, and approved execution with a question mark. I'll explain this. This is very, very important. You can just take a screenshot and replicate it. Fill this thing using your Google Doc. So gold on Monday gave me a trend day to the upside. Let me show you. As you can see, this was Monday. Gold gave us a trend day to the upside. They violated the high of Friday. So we got a trend day on Monday. This is a trend day from gold. We can all see that, right? Yes. So this is why I actually wrote trend day. Euro USD gave me the same thing. Ethereum gave me the same thing. And S&P 500 gave me the same thing. Usually what I do, I'll put different stars here. You can see I put this star here. I use different stars. If gold gives me a very beautiful trend day, which is not overextended, I will just put 3 stars. If something gives me a trend day but it's not that much good, I'll just put a 1 star on it. So it helps me when I come the following day. And this will help you a lot. As you can see, I put all the assets that gave me trend days to the upside. And when I came to look for trend days to the downside, when I was analyzing, I didn't get anything that gave me a trend day to the downside. So I wrote nothing under here. I only had 4 assets that had a trend day to the upside. So this simplifies things for me. I have already filtered out a lot of garbage. I filtered out all those assets that I could have been looking for the next day, but I won't be looking for simply because they are not here. So on this day, I'm only going to be looking at 4 assets. So you can see the simplicity and you can see the importance of this, right? So now let's go to setup. Under setup, I want the setup, and let me explain what the setup is to you quite quick. Since of course gold gave us a trend day to the upside, what were we expecting the following day? We are expecting prices to correct, prices to drop and drop and drop to at least where we got a key level. It could be a level like the high, it could be a level like the close, or any other area where we got support and resistance. And if you look at this area right here, we got support and resistance, and it only makes sense for prices to collapse the following day. Why? Because obviously when prices were going up on Monday, many people jumped in along the way. So the next day prices are gonna come to stop hunt them, and obviously if institutions bought, they are gonna protect their entries and also give themselves an opportunity to stock more, because obviously institutions can't buy all at once. They have to place orders in portions. So this is why prices mostly drop the following day. This is very, very important to know. So this drop here, which is a drop, we can also call it a pullback. This results in a setup which is called buy low. Okay, this is actually buy. This is a buy low opportunity if they give us something like this. So under setup, we're just gonna write what? Buy low. Very, very important. So when we come under setup, we're gonna write buy low because they actually drop. And now when we look at session setup, we already know that different assets move at different times. Anything that has to do with USD moves well in New York session. Anything that has to do with the pound and the euro moves well during London. And anything that has to do with Australian dollar and JPY moves well during Asia. However, gold moves well during any session. Gold can move well during Asia, it can move well during London, and it can move well during New York session. So we'll be looking at the session on which the asset we are looking for moves. For example, Euro USD, it has the dollar and has the euro. It can move well during London and it can also move well during the USD, but mostly the dollar is going to be dominant because we're going to have a lot of US news coming in most of the days. So under setup, session setup, if they gave us a buy low opportunity, the next thing we are going to be looking for is a pattern. Very, very important. So for instance, when we are looking at gold, obviously we got a trend day, and now the following day we are looking for a buy low opportunity, buy low, and they have indeed given us a buy low, but now we need to see a pattern. We need a pattern. So if you look at this one here, unfortunately it gave this quite late, so I don't usually take things that happen late. If you look at this, they gave us a half Batman. This is a half Batman pattern because it went down and it came and consolidated here. Those who have the playbook, you already know I draw all the patterns you need, but you can simply do a Google search. You'll see all the chart patterns you need. So this was a half Batman, and yes, of course they broke out with a beautiful candle. It's just that here I've actually compacted the charts. I've squeezed it so you won't see the candles very well, but this is a pattern. During during the session. This was during the New York session. So what did they give us? A pattern. They gave us half Batman during what? During the session. So this is also important. We go back to our paper and we fill it in. So of course we're gonna come back to this paper and actually write under session setup. You saw we got a half Batman. When I'm filling with my pen, it's gonna fit here. And then under candlestick pattern, obviously when you get a half Batman like this, it's gonna give something like a pattern here. And for those who have the playbook, or for those who have been following this channel for long, I speak about something called evidence candle, which is simply an engulfment. Usually it could be this engulfment that breaks out of the pattern. So you write here if they give you that engulfment, you write it here if they give you an engulfment. And then if all these things are met and it's inside the EMA 21 EMA, you can approve this. You can write yes. Do you approve it? Yes. So this helps you. Like for others, they will come, let's say they give a buy low opportunity, for example, and then here during the session they give nothing. So obviously if you don't have anything here, we can't go to the engulfment, because the engulfment only works once we have a session setup, a session pattern. So obviously if you got nothing here, you're not gonna approve this trade. And by the way, you're only looking at 4 things. And again, Ethereum, sometimes you might come to Ethereum and it's already gone. We'll go to Ethereum and look at it in this case. Sometimes you come here and they didn't give this opportunity. So obviously if here there is nothing, no buy low opportunity, obviously for these ones there is nothing, so it's a no. So in this case here, you end up looking for only 2. So you see, you can't really go wrong if you are looking at only 2 assets. You can't really go wrong. If S&P 500 doesn't give you something right, you can just come and say no again. If you don't approve this, obviously you're only left with 1 trade, and even if you lose 1 trade, it's still fair. You only took 1. So if you do this, it's gonna save you. Most of the days it's gonna save you. Remember, doing nothing is also part of trading. Doing nothing is also part of doing something, right? So if you have 1 setup, it's good. If when you come you have no setup at all, then it's okay, you have nothing. Let's just look at Ethereum to just simplify these things. Well, as you can see, when we came and we were looking at Ethereum, obviously Ethereum gave us a trend day on Monday. This was a beautiful trend day after a long consolidation. What did they do? The following day, when prices opened, immediately the opportunity was gone. They never gave a buy low opportunity. They just shot up. So most of the time, if you are well experienced, yes, you can get something down here, but most of the time, once they are gone like this, you can just call it a day. Accept that opportunity gone. You can just say gone. And if you are looking at 4 things on the day, and of course 3 things are already gone, you're only left with 1. You will never go wrong with only 1. You see, that's how you filter your opportunities. That's how you protect your capital. That's how you help yourself the following day. But if you come unprepared, obviously there are many things you're gonna miss. You're gonna end up coming on a day like this and you think just because they're going up, they bounced on the low here, now it's an opportunity to the upside. Whereas no, it's not an opportunity to the upside. Had you done your analysis correct, you would have seen that we got a trend day to the downside. And the opportunity, as I said, some days they'll give an opportunity, but the TP will be hit the following day. You see, so preparing saves us most of the time. So in a nutshell, that is how you'll be able to use this paper. It's gonna save you, believe me. Well, now let's look at what happened on S&P. Remember, we did have S&P when we were analyzing on Monday. We had 4 things that we were looking for, which is actually gold, Ethereum, Euro USD, and S&P 500. So these are the 4 we are looking for. We have already spoken about gold. Ethereum failed. USD gave the same setup as gold. And now let's look at S&P 500 quite quick. So of course, Thursday, Friday, Monday we get a trend day. This is a trend day because they violated Friday's high. So obviously the following day we are looking for prices to do what? To collapse. When they collapse, they're actually setting up for a what? For a buy low opportunity. And that's what we are looking for, a buy low opportunity. And what did we say? We said obviously they will come to key levels. So we have this as a key level, we have this as a key level, we have this as a key level, and we have this as a key level. So our job is to just observe how they behave when they come to these areas here. Very easy. As you can see here, this is an important key level, but they surpassed it with a big candle. So the moment they surpass it, because we are observing their behavior, we're gonna erase this. And the next level they come to is this second here. And obviously this is where they started giving us what? A pattern. They gave us a W. Yes, this pattern came in a little bit early. Prices can do that, right? They gave us a double bottom very early, and then later after the double bottom they gave us a rectangle. The rectangle broke out, pulled back on a smaller time frame, because right now I'm on a, as you can see, I'm on a 15-minute time frame. They broke out, pulled back, and gave a beautiful engulfing candle. So if you are using that paper, obviously you saw that this was a great opportunity opportunity. And obviously, what did we say? Mostly our targets will be up here. You see, they came straight to our target, but again we said divide the lot size into two and take two positions. Hold one, take profit here because you need to be paid, and you can hold the other one to the close. And when you hold to the close, obviously that's when you're gonna get even more profits. So this day everything played out very well, and most of the days it's gonna be like that. Again, if we are looking at Nasdaq gave the same thing. You see, this move was going down. All of a sudden on Monday we got a trend day. I didn't put it there when I was analyzing, right? But we got a trend day, and this day obviously closed here, but this was a beautiful trend day. What are we expecting the following day? Prices to drop to where? To key levels. In this case, they obviously came to this one. If you are using a 15-minute chart or a 5-minute chart, you'll see that we got support here. So they came keys through here, and that's when they started reversing. So honestly, this is the simplest way to get trend continuation trades. And if you look again on Nasdaq, we got a beautiful entry opportunity for our strategy, which is called the explosive trading strategy for indices. You know it. I have explained it countless times in this channel, and even on the playbook I have put everything there, but I've explained it on this channel countless times, and we got a beautiful opportunity somewhere around here, you see. So these things keep on happening. However, we had news. So when we have news like this, it becomes risky. You can enter and get out right before the news, or you can trail your stops, right? But you can see this move came back to the same area we target, and because we have two entries with divided lot sizes, we're gonna take more profits when the prices close. So you can see this is how the trend continuation strategy works. Not that complicated, but it's very important to prepare a night before. Then you only look at the assets that gave you an opportunity. If, for instance, had they came here and started going up, there was nothing to do on this day, unless of course if you are experienced, you can get an opportunity, because some days they will go and then come and retest the high, then give an opportunity back to the upside. That's when you can take it. But honestly, this is so easy to follow. Not much complications here. Not much complications. And remember when we were talking, I spoke about some days we get trend days, and then the following day we get the pullback only, and the opportunity is given the following day. Well, look at Euro USD. I bought this one. I bought it on a 15 minutes. We got beautiful candles here. Beautiful big candles right on track. That's where I bought it, and the take profit was only hit on Monday. If you look at Thursday gave us a trend day. You see, gave us a trend day to the upside, and then the following day prices collapsed, and they collapsed, right? You won't see the key resistance area or the key area here. Why? Because I'm on a 1-hour chart, and this candle just went straight up, right? Just went straight up. But on a smaller time frame, you'll see multiple pullbacks. So yes, some days they will give this, but this is a currency. Obviously, when you see that the New York session is almost going to close and they haven't given, the opportunity hasn't gone back up, that's mostly a sign that this will continue the following day. So you see, they gave a beautiful setup here, and this opportunity was just completed when it was completed on Monday. So you must also be able to project these opportunities through the next day, because some of the days they will do this. And when you look again here, they gave us a beautiful trend day again. This is a trend day. And yes, of course, prices have collapsed. Again, it's highly possible that we might get this opportunity today all the way back to the top. Anyway, I will make a more detailed video later where I will also explain candlesticks, because it's very important to know that most of the time when they want to trap you, they're gonna use super big candles like this. You don't follow a super big candle like this. Anyway, I'll explain this in a following video where we'll deal deeper with candles and deal deeper with different kind of setups, right? So guys, I really thank you. Have a blessed day.